Hello again, YouTube. Lovell Halls, prior enlisted Marine, military history buff, and just somebody who does a lot of research. And this one is going to be an explains why video, why I don't trust the fact checkers. Honestly, I really don't. And the reason I don't check the fact checkers is because of the fact that there's been more than once where they've done what's called gaslighting, where you see and experience the evidence that says otherwise, and they're telling you, no, it's not true. A recent example is PolitiFact says that Joe Biden didn't try and shake hands with the heir when I saw the video. He finished up his speech, he turned to his right, he stuck his hand out like there was somebody to shake hands with, and there was nobody there. And then he spent like another minute or so just completely disoriented, or at least is what it appeared to be. I don't know whether he really was or not. Maybe he was just a little confused. It happens to the best of us. But it is, as I've noticed, it has become a bit of a routine. As like, even during the campaigns 2 years ago, where he was unable to quote the Declaration of Independence, where all men are created equal, endowed by their Creator by certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. To me, that's kind of a requisition that you need to be able to know what at least it says. You might not be able to speak it clearly, but it seems to me as though he couldn't remember. It's like, in all honesty, if I think that the federal level politicians, especially somebody like the president, needs to speak clearly and speak rarely. Speak often to the people, but speak rarely about things like foreign policy, because Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, I'll bet you they have a team of psychologists that are watching every single one of Joe Biden's speeches and are just any information that they happen to be able to glean from them, they promptly turn over to Xi Jinping. It's kind of like this story. It's like a story of corn pop. No, and I actually learned a few things about corn pop, and I'm not even a psychologist. It's like I learned several things about Joe Biden when he made that story, when he had that story about corn pop. It's like, no, 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 no. You don't need to be having the president just jabbering for the sake of jabbering. I was like, he needs to button up his mouth as much as he can while still being able to frequently speak to the American people. And it's towards that end that's just playing the cards a little close to your chest a little bit here. I mean, you don't want to show them your hand. And because at that point, just Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping know a little bit more about Joe Biden just because they have that team of psychologists that are studying every word Joe Biden says. And they have a similar they have a similar team that are studying Kamala Harris. And honestly, if this was me, if I was in Vladimir Putin's shoes, I'd have study everybody that's in the Biden administration as a whole. Each person in the Biden administration that actually speaks, have a team of psychologists actually report directly to me and tell me what they learned. And that's if I was in their position. And there's quite a bit that I learned from just listening to them talk, and it's like, some of those things I know they don't want Vladimir Putin to know. It's like the story about corn pop, as irrelevant as it sounded, it was actually quite revealing. So, but anyhow, PolitiFact will tell you, no, it didn't happen. Or some of the other fact checkers. Can't even name all that many fact checkers. I only recently heard about some gaslighting that PolitiFact did. That's the only reason they're coming up to mind right now, because I don't pay attention to them. And I was like, no, 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 no. I don't trust what they have to say, because most of the time what I see is not what they say. And it's like, being here in Virginia as close to Charlottesville as I was, none of the news stories talked about this, but the people who were supposed to be white supremacists, and I use that term loosely, they actually applied for a permit to do their protest. The counter protest was threatened and all this other stuff. There was even violence the day before inside of the local Walmart because some people who were thought to be amongst this protest group actually got knocked around a little bit. And whether you agree with them or not doesn't matter to me. It's like, but the point is they were trying to do things the right way because they didn't want to add any additional reasons for people to just not like them. So, when it comes to that one who did actually commit vehicular homicide, I'm not entirely sure he was provoked. I was not there to see it. It was a pretty good possibility that it was because I've actually seen it where somebody would do a peaceful protest that somebody would not agree with inside of Charlottesville, and the person had to be escorted, had to be protected by a police escort in order to get out of town in one piece. And that has happened in Charlottesville before and after the events that actually led up to the vehicular homicide. And yet, if you actually look at the media and PolitiFact backing them up and other fact checkers, they would actually have you believe that these were white supremacists who were out looking for blood. But living here in Virginia, I can tell you for a fact that was not the case. They manipulated, they twisted the story, and they want you to swallow it hook, line, and sucker. Yes, I know. Normally the saying is sinker, but you're a sucker if you do. And I was like, no. When it came to the gas shortages, we were again gaslit. There was a lot of gas stations where we saw that were not actually having fuel because they just couldn't get the trucks there because there was no fuel to put into the trucks. Well, when it comes down to it, the media was telling you, oh, the gas shortage isn't that bad. I'm pretty sure you're not going to notice it if you're driving an electric vehicle, but most of us can't afford that. It's like, I just finally managed to get to the point where I know for a fact that in 3 years I'm going to have my car paid off. My $22,000 brand, when it was brand new Cruise. And I bought it in 2019 when it was brand new, so I still owe $12,000 on it. And there would have been no way doing the calculations if I had gotten one of the electric vehicles, like say it was a Tesla. There would have been no way I would have been able to keep it. It would have been repossessed long ago. And there was no way. Absolutely none. Just the maintenance on it, just the payments on it alone would have sank me. The insurance and the property tax. Ooh, yeah, no. There would have been no way I would have been able to make that happen. No way I'd be able to afford any of the electric vehicles. I actually looked into a Chevy Volt for a little bit because of the fact that I do like the idea of every so often not having any gas, but the darn thing was too expensive. It was over double the price on my Cruise, and my Cruise cost me $360 a month. It's like, no. There would have been no way to be able to pay $720 a month, or in the case of a Tesla, which was $60,000, to be able to pay over $1,000 a month on a car. No, I don't make good enough money for that. If I was making that kind of money, I'd be paying on a mortgage right now, because $800 around here is good enough to make monthly payments on a mortgage. So yeah, I would rather put that money into a house. So, but yet it was like, this is more of a jab at the media more than anything, because of the fact that it's like they're telling us what we clearly see is not the case. Oh, the inflation is transitory. Oh, it's Putin's gas hike. When these things were already going up way before Putin. And these things are, when the inflation is not transitory. And the fact checkers are frequently backing them up. Don't trust the fact checkers. I honestly tell, hey, if you don't believe what I'm saying, go do the research yourself. You can actually see a timetable that dates back over 100 years, if you want to, on inflation. Honestly, I believe one of our biggest mistakes was when we came off the U.S. gold standard, because if you happen to notice, up to the point of where we were still in the gold standard, the inflation was flat like this. Down low, flat. Then we came off of it, and all of a sudden it goes like this. Out of control. And I was like, yeah. That goes back to one of the other media lies at the time, that being able to come off the gold standard, we'd be able to control the inflation better. Well, good job, nitwits. We haven't been able to control it for squat. And all it has done is spiraled out of control, and it's even more so out of control now. But the fact checkers and the media still is going, it's not that bad. Because at the end of the day, they want us to get smacked upside the head and being told it's for our own good, and we sound like Oliver. Please, sir, can I have another? Could I have more? No. I almost cursed there. I just said to myself I was not going to curse on this channel, but people who have no honor honestly bug me to no end. And these people are without honor. They are not honest. They are liars. And they expect you to believe the lies, and they will attack you if you don't believe them. And YouTube has... I've appealed them again. I'm going to keep on appealing them as long as they'll let me. On the one video that they have pulled for quote-unquote misinformation. And if they don't respond to this particular appeal or remove the strike on it, I will just remake that video. I don't care. Honestly, I'm doing these videos just as much for the fact that I just want to do them, just get some of my thoughts out there and see how many people agree with me. So, our next, it's like, honestly, it'd be worth looking into doing our own fact-checking, completely independent, unbiased fact-checking, but it might be just as good to establish fact-checking institutes that actually acknowledge their bias and try and hit the center of the mark. It's like, I won't lie, I mean, I've been vice chair to the local Republican committee, for crying out loud. And I was like, so there I was acknowledging my bias. I do generally believe in conservative values. There's some things that I don't quite agree with, things that I think we can tweak a little bit, and things that I don't think we back up enough, where we aren't showing enough spine. But that's part of the reason why I prefer to open up the discussion. Because unlike certain people, I actually will answer the questions, and I will defend the position. And as long as you stay on topic, I personally love the debate. But people like PolitiFact want to shut it down because, no, you will accept what we say as fact. Even though I saw, do not trust your lying eyes. No. Come on, dude. You guys are really starting to bug me here. And but when it comes forward, that's part of the reason why I did these discussions, is because I want to have you guys asking the important questions as well. Ask yourself, Why is it like this? Why is it like that? Why isn't it like this other thing here? And I want you guys asking these questions. Fact check me. Do not trust me. I don't care. Or maybe you do trust me. Use the Ronald Reagan way and trust but verify. Verify what I say on your own. Do not trust PolitiFact. Go look for the video yourself. I'm telling you, it happened exactly the way I said it. Joe Biden finished his speech. He turns to his right like he was gonna shake hands with somebody. And then he turns around and just kind of stands there for a second like he's completely bewildered. He looks left, he looks right, like he has no idea what's going on. There is no editing necessary for that, and you can go see it for yourself. And it actually kind of bothers me a little bit because of the fact that none of our presidents, Democrat or Republican, should ever be that confused or that obviously confused. That just goes to show much greater weakness. There's a reason that even our allies, some of our allies in the past, like Saudi Arabia, for example, who has actually helped us a lot with our dealings with Saddam Hussein, Kuwait, Iraq, and has not is actually starting to mock Joe Biden. You can look that video up as well. You can actually see it where they've actually got a couple people who are dressed like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and every time Joe Biden says something dumb, the one that's dressed like Kamala Harris starts whispering in his ear, whispering a correction. Whispers in his ear, whispers a correction, whispers in his ear, whispers a correction. And eventually Joe Biden has to be drug off stage and he's being clapped like a puppet by Kamala Harris. That was the Saudi Arabians that did that. I mean, come on. Our own allies are mocking us now. And that's partially because of the fact they know that they can get away with it. It's because we don't have that much of a beef with them. But if that's our allies, what do you think our enemies are doing? I mean, they have even less respect for the man. Okay, so, but you can again look for that. I'm telling you, go past the fact checkers. Go look it up for yourself. You can find all of this stuff for yourself. There's a reason that I look for Tim Pool, where you can find his channel at Timcast. And it's like, when it comes to information in Ukraine, I still love Arthur. He's very, very good. But go look for these facts yourself, and you tell me, am I right? Am I wrong? Come back to my channel and let me know. I've been Lovell, you guys have been great, and I'll see you guys again later.